What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It is starting 11 prediction time for tomorrow's trip to Ibrox to face Rangers in the final derby of the season. I suppose this is a chance for the team to set the record straight in this fixture this season. We are off the back of those two defeats to Rangers in the recent meetings, but we are once again the champions. We done it in style last weekend, and like I say, it's a chance for the players to go and set the record straight and put the wrongs to right of the last couple of meetings against them. And the form for us could hardly be any better. We've scored 15 goals in the last three games. Contrast that to the Rangers' form. They haven't won at home since the 2nd of February. They've conceded at least 2 goals in their last 8 league games as well, which is a terrible, terrible record. Only Gretna have a worse run than that, going back to April 2008. So the only thing Rangers have going for them are those 2 victories in this fixture this season. And there's been a lot of talk after the games, a lot of fallout, as there always is, about whether this was a mental switch off for the team or whether there is some tactical issues. For us, I think it's a bit of both. I think there's no doubt we have to start the game a lot quicker on Sunday. I think we have to play with much more speed. Rangers are the home team. They're going to come in presses. You know that we're going to have the majority of the ball. That's the way we play. It's a possession-based style. Brendan Rodgers may well have some tactical tweaks, and we'll come to the team when we get to that in a minute in more detail. But I think we've got to control the things that we can control, and we've got to play at a much higher tempo. We've got to have more aggression about us. We've got to win more second balls. I think that's a big thing taken away for the last 2 games. It's really difficult to accept in this fixture that the other team is the more aggressive team, that they want it more than Celtic do. So I think that's the things that we've got to rectify from minute one on Sunday. And if we play to form, if we play to the level that we know we can do, we should cap the season off with a final derby victory, and we're better to do it than to go to Ibrox and get that win. But like I say, we can't be expecting an easy out, and we can't be expecting that because we're 15, 17 points clear in the league and we've won it at a canter that we can just turn up and roll Rangers over easily. I think that's been the mindset, certainly from some of the supporters going into these last 2 games, and the players can't have that level of comfort. This is about going and proving that the last 2 games were not a true reflection of the Celtic team. And like I say, putting in a statement performance, showing everybody why we're the best team in the country, and banishing the memory of those 2 defeats earlier in the season. We've obviously had some injury news today. Alistair Johnson looks like he's going to miss out. A huge blow for Jota to be out for 9 months with a cruciate injury. I think last weekend when he went down, you could tell he was in real pain immediately. You could tell the pain was around his knee, but I think we were all hoping it wouldn't really be that bad. He just had to come off. It was maybe precautionary, but I think as soon as he came back out with the crutches, you knew it was a bad one at the end of the game. A huge disappointment for him after the couple of years he's had since his move to Saudi Arabia. He's going to have another 6 to 9 months on the sidelines now. You were really looking to next season, to pre-season, for him to be able to get a proper pre-season under his belt, get back to that level of fitness and sharpness that he's been missing. And he's going to be denied that by having to rehab this injury. But sometimes a big injury like that can really refresh things for a player and they go on and become stronger. Let's hope that's the case for Jota, and we wish him a speedy recovery as quickly as he can. He's been such a breath of fresh air coming back into the team. I think we all take great joy in watching him. So the quicker he comes back fit and healthy into the team, the better. So let's turn our attention then to that starting lineup for Brendan Rodgers tomorrow at Ibrox. In goals, we expect Sinisalo to continue. Casper still not back. I think he did take some part in the warm-up last weekend, Casper Schmeichel. Still too early for him. So it's a big day for Sinisalo. A big game away from home against your big rivals. He's going to have to perform well and make saves whenever he's called upon in the game. He looks like a confident young player, really calm with the ball at his feet. And I think he's got a good confidence about him generally for a goalkeeper. I think obviously goalkeepers need that. It's not often you see a shy goalkeeper, but it has been known, particularly in the last 5 or 6 years at Celtic. So I think and that's Barkas I'm talking about, by the way, obviously. I think it's a big day for Sinisalo. Hopefully he can stand up and perform. I'm sure it's something he'll relish, going and playing in that atmosphere in this fixture. Something he's really looking forward to. Let's hope he puts in a big performance. Right back, Tony Ralston will start the game. Alistair Johnston's out. He's going to be out until the cup final. That's a big opportunity for Ralston. You certainly don't have any qualms about him coming into this fixture, because you know what it means. He's played in it numerous times before. You know that he'll bring that intensity to the game. You know he relishes physical battles. He will have to be on it defensively, and he'll need to be sharp. Not having played so much football, I think he's played more minutes for Scotland this season probably than he has done for Celtic, certainly in terms of starts. So it's a big day for Tony, but you trust him to come in and perform well, and like I say, bring that intensity to the game with the understanding of the fixture. Centre halves, Carter Vickers, Scales, and I think Taylor will undoubtedly start at left back. He's played really well, Greg, in the last couple of weeks, and again for him, if this is to be his last derby, he'll want to end on a high and getting a victory at Ibrox. It really doesn't get any better than that, so I'm sure if he gets the nod, he'll be keen to perform and wrap up his Celtic career in this fixture, if that is to be the end of it, in the right way. Midfield, such a key battle area in this game. Callum McGregor, who missed the last fixture, leading the team, Hatate and Engels in front of him. That first choice three, all of whom I think have played really well in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think McGregor's been outstanding. There's no doubt Rangers will have some sort of plan to try and stop him in the game, but if we can get him free and we can move the ball quickly enough, he is the player that will help us beat the Rangers press and link the game and move us forward quickly, and that's what we have to do, because we know how Rangers are going to come out. We know they'll probably try and replicate what they've done at Celtic Park in terms of being aggressive in the game, coming at us, pressing us high up the pitch. Like I say, we have to get McGregor free, and we have to have solutions for the scenarios in the game where Callum isn't available to get us out from the back four and through the pitch. He's the player that will connect the game for us, but it's up to Engels and Hatate to get themselves free, to stand up and be counted, and to really win that midfield battle, because it's such a key area of this game, and I don't think we've done well enough in the last 2 games. You could argue even the last 2.5, going back to the first half in the cup final. We've got to be a lot stronger in there. We can't let Rangers be more aggressive than us. There's got to be a determination in that midfield to come out on top tomorrow, and I think we stand a better chance of doing that with the captain back in the team, as he wasn't in that game at Celtic Park. Front three, maybe some big decisions for Brendan Rodgers. I think Jota being out sort of closes him into a certain setup. I think Kuhn will start on the right hand side. He missed training yesterday, but I think it was just bruising, Brendan Rodgers said, around his knee, so probably just precautionary, should be fine. He needs to put in a big performance in this game. He had his wee go back at the Sporters. He was brilliant last weekend, brilliant, scored 2 good goals. The first one was absolutely brilliant on his weak foot. Lovely setup for Maeda, cross for the left hand side, but to finish it like that first time on your weak foot was brilliant. And I think he's obviously been keen to prove his point. His celebration would tell you that, but I think he needs to put in a statement performance in this fixture. And again, away from home, there's hardly a better place for a Celtic player to go and put in a statement performance than at Ibrox tomorrow. And I think he's got to be a lot more like the way he was last weekend and the way he was at the start of the season and the way he has been maybe in the last couple of months. He's got a big point to prove, and if that sort of criticism, if he's picked up on it in the last couple of months, has put a chip in his shoulder, then all the better if it motivates him to go and perform tomorrow. Dyson on the left hand side, I believe he travelled to Japan for the birth of his child during the week. I think that's why he missed training yesterday, probably just maybe catching up on some sleep and some jet lag, but I think he'll be fine, and like we know, he'll bring 100% intensity to this fixture. He'll treat it like any other game. The context doesn't matter to Dyson Maeda. You know he's going to run himself into the ground for the cause, and he's had an incredible season. He's probably going to wipe the floor with the Player of the Year awards. That's both Celtic's Player of the Year awards and the Scottish Player of the Year awards. He's been incredible. He deserves all the accolades he'll get at the end of this season, and it'd be nice to see him cap it off with another brilliant performance at Ibrox. Adam Idah will lead the line. He came on at half time in that last derby, 2-0 down. We turned the game to 2-2. I don't think that was solely because of his pivotal role in it, but I think his presence does allow us to maybe go into his feet and build the game a bit more in a direct, quicker fashion than we have done recently in this fixture. I think at times this season when teams have come to presses, we've knitted together some nice moves, and it's often that up back through movement where it goes into the striker back to a midfield player, and all of a sudden the full game has opened up in front of you. I think that's the role Adamida needs to play tomorrow. He's got to be strong up against the Rangers defence. He has been good in big games, Adamida. He looks like he enjoys it in this fixture. He had a brilliant moment at Ibrox last season in that 3-3 game where it looked like he had notched a winner before we conceded in the last second. So I think he enjoys these games, and I think tomorrow he needs to go and put in a big performance again. It'd be a real statement for him. Scored 18 goals this season. I think he's had criticism from time to time. I think the price tag is something that he can never escape. Brendan Rodgers alluded to that today in the press conference, but I think tomorrow's a brilliant opportunity for him to lead the line for Celtic in this fixture. It's a brilliant opportunity for him to go and show why he's at the club, why we paid that money for him, and it'd be brilliant to see him on the score sheet. But again, it's all about, can he be that outlet for us whenever we need to find solutions to get up the pitch. We have to start the game well, and he's got to use his physical presence to help us link the game, to help us beat the Rangers press, and hopefully he can go and put in a really big performance tomorrow. So there you go. That's the lineup I think Brendan Rodgers will go with. If there's any positions across the pitch you disagree on, let me know in the comments below. Please like the video as always, and we'll be back with you after the game tomorrow with all of the full-time reaction and the post-match pint as well. Let's hope we're celebrating another huge Celtic win. Thank you.